Welcome to the Cybersky, everybody. Let's learn something. Today is Tech Talk Tuesdays. I've just learned something myself, that when I'm going live, I have to mute YouTube on my computer if it's open, because then it's going to play in feedback. All right, I've muted that. Tech Talk Tuesdays is part of something I'm calling Cybersky Live. I'm going to go live a couple times a week. Some of my lives will be random, and some of them will fall on certain days. And just for alliteration, and also I have other videos that I drop on Mondays and Wednesdays, so I'm going to go Tech Talk Tuesdays. And I'm thinking about Health Talk Thursdays. So I'm not sure. I'll let you know more about that. Just going live, Tech Talk Tuesdays will be a combination of some news. I'm going to tell you today a couple of interesting things I've read about recently, what's in the news in the world of technology, some interesting things, and just share some info. And if you have some info, join us in the live chat and ask questions, tell us things that you're doing or things you found out about in the world of crypto, computers, robotics, anything technology, new kinds of electric cars, anything that's technology, even science. Right now they're genetically engineering mosquitoes so that they won't bite people. That's technology as well, even though it's a science topic. So yeah, that's what we're talking about today. I'm kind of just rambling a little, giving people a chance to notice that I went live. And on my phone, I'm trying to see what the live looks like if you're, watching the live, but not really sure how I get to it. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Boom. Click right there. All right, I'm going to share this to my Facebook friends. Kind of just rambling a little. And my Twitter friends and my Instagram friends. Let's do a quick share. And then I'll tell you some of the interesting news stories that we have slated for this week. And hopefully, if you think of something interesting that you think I should talk about on today's Tech Talk, throw it in the live chat. Tech Talk Tuesdays. I'm about to post this on my Facebook. And live now. Exclamation point. Oh, you know how autocorrect always messes up and thinks you're typing something different? It changed live now to lice. New, like I have new lice. No, I don't even have hair. I don't have lice. Lice now, live now. Alrighty. I'm going to even say, come chat. Cool. Hit post. Let's see what happens. I don't know. But I'm going to run down these stories because some people will be watching this after the fact and not live. If that's the case, in the comments, tell me what you think of these stories. Tell me if you agree with things that I've said, if you have any questions. And really importantly, if you've got a great topic for another tech talk, something you want me to talk about next Tuesday, throw it in the chat. Now, the exact time I haven't nailed down yet. Today, I've been experimenting. I went live around 5. I went live again around 6:30, but I deleted those. I was just testing out the technology, seeing how it works. Maybe 3 people were watching at that time. So now I'm live again. It's 8 o'clock, but I think that I'll probably do it between the hours of 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. It's not going to be morning. It's not going to be midday, lunchtime. It's going to be evening. So next Tuesday, tune in and I'll be back doing this again. All right. So let's take a look at some interesting things happening in the world of technology. I've got about 5 or 6 things to talk about, the last one being crypto. So if you're interested in crypto, Bitcoin and Ethereum and Cardano and Harmony and Polkadot and Dogecoin and all that stuff, we're going to talk about that, what my feelings are on it, my involvement. I do participate in crypto. I've got some money in that. But there's some interesting things happening in that area, interesting developments just this week. So I'll be telling you about that. That'll be the last thing we talk about. But the first thing that I wanted to bring to your attention is, did you guys know that Fortnite, the video game the kids play, and I guess adults play it too. I'm not really a big gamer. It's one of the hottest, most popular online games. Fortnite is in a legal battle with Apple. I'm not sure if you guys have heard. But basically, Apple, they have their Apple store, right? And in order to put an app in their store so that people with iPhones and iPads and MacBooks and stuff will be able to shop for your app and install it on their computer, you have to design your app to their specifications. And they only want you to use certain, formats and specs in your app, and you have to follow their rules or else you can't put your app in their store. That's fine. I understand that. But another thing that they do is they force you to use their payment processing system. And for using that, the app developer pays 30% of the price of the app to Apple. So Apple makes a killing. Now, I gather from this lawsuit that other apps in places like the Google Play Store, they don't charge as much for being in the store. Maybe you don't have to use their payment processor. Maybe you can use a third party. So Fortnite didn't like that. And Fortnite has decided that they are going to make, well, they did it. They made their own payment processing, and they encourage people who download Fortnite to use that. And they started doing it. And Apple immediately halted that and kicked them out of the Apple store. So now they've been thrown out. They removed. You can't get Fortnite through the Apple store. So they decided to sue Apple because they feel it's like a monopoly, kind of like they're forcing you to use their payment processor, and then they're charging you a huge amount of your sales price, 30%. So we're going to see how that plays out. Now, for a huge developer of apps, it's not a big deal. Like for a company like Uber to pay 30% to Apple, they're like, whatever, these are huge billion-dollar developers. But for the small-time developers that pooled their money together and invented something and got a few small investors, and they're just getting started, that 30% can mean a lot. So, that's really what the lawsuit is about, helping the little guy get their app out there and not pay such an exorbitant fee for using the Apple payment processor, which they're required to use. They can't do anything else under the current system. So we're going to see what happens to that lawsuit. And another thing that's going on is, and I mentioned this in my introduction earlier, in Florida, they're testing out a new technology. This is scary. Let me know what you think about this. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? They're going to be releasing very soon, maybe in the next week or two. Maybe it's being released now since I've heard the story. A few days has gone by. 500 million mutant mosquitoes, genetically engineered mosquitoes that have been altered by scientists in the lab, and now they're releasing 500 million of them into Florida, I guess in certain areas where they're trying to control the mosquito population. Now, it's not what you think. They're not trying to get rid of all the mosquitoes. They could do that. But I guess somebody figured out that mosquitoes are part of the food chain, and some things eat mosquitoes, and maybe even mosquitoes swarming around and doing their activities does something positive for the environment in some way. It's just bad for us because they bite us. It's more than annoying. There's a lot of diseases that are spread through mosquitoes transferring, biting different people and transferring that disease. So what they did is they genetically altered these mosquitoes not to like humans. They don't like our blood. They don't like the smell of our skin. They fly right past people and go to another type of animal to get their food. So this is really great because if mosquitoes wouldn't bite us, then that whole spread of, West Nile and what's the other thing? I can't remember it. They have in some countries, in some tropical areas, and of course, hot places like Florida. So, the theory is those 500 million mosquitoes that have been engineered will mate with existing mosquitoes in the population, all different mosquitoes. And then those mosquitoes will take the genetic trait, and pass it down in the DNA to their offspring. And those offspring will also not have the urge to bite humans. So tell me what you think about that. I mean, is this like man playing with nature, playing God, playing with science, and changing things a little in a scary way? Could anything go wrong? Could this become a Michael Crichton book or movie, where the scientists were doing something they thought they were being really slick, and then it blows up in their face? Not like that ever happens in real life. I mean, that's just a movie. That's not like ever scientists were ever playing with anything in a lab, and then, somehow a crazy disease spread around the world and, destroyed the economies of every nation. That's science fiction. But could these mosquitoes, be the first time that's ever happened? I don't know. I'm being sarcastic, but let me know what you think of that story in the comments. Now, another thing that I find interesting is Google is rolling something out. They're letting a few people test this feature like they always do, the beta testers, right? They're testing something where they just sending a couple of messages out, sorry. They no longer require for their voice commands, for their Google voice commands, where you can just say, Google, answer the door or answer the phone, and it just does it. Their artificial intelligence, their AI that competes with Siri and all the other ones. You used to have to say, hey, Google, and then say your command. And so Google wouldn't listen, supposedly, right? It wouldn't be paying much attention. And then if you said, hey, Google, it would like perk up and turn on the voice match technology that now hears what you say and figures out what you want it to do, or maybe does a Google search for you or whatever it is you're doing. So you used to have to say, hey, Google, and they want it to be no longer necessary for for the user to say, hey, Google first for some things that are really short, simple commands that they could just program it to listen to all the time. And then when they hear that, do it. So an example that I heard one person talking about this was for answering your phone. You should just be able to say pick up phone or just pick up. So now you will be able to just say pick up, and you won't have to say, hey, Google, pick up. Now, if you're answering a phone or something else that you got to turn on or turn off, and you need to do it in a timely fashion, you want to shorten the phrase. So this could be more convenient. But the only thing that I worry about is, so now Google won't have to pretend that you said, hey, Google, to spy on you. They can just have it on at all times, listening to everything you're saying, because they got to know if you said a command, right? So, I mean, it's a probability and a possibility that it's spying on you at all times. Anyway, I know that anything I talk about appears on my television later, appears on the internet, appears on my phone. One day I was driving in the car, and I was asking my wife how to pronounce a word. Like, how do you pronounce it? And I said it, and I wasn't sure if I said it right. And she said it, and we said it 2 or 3 times, right? We were driving in the car. We didn't have our phones out or anything. They were in our pockets, but they were on. And later I went and watched cable TV, and a movie by the name of that word that we were saying over and over was offered, watch this movie on cable. So it wasn't on Facebook. It wasn't like from a Google search that I typed. Now Facebook is giving me ads, or even that's something that the phone heard me say. I'm now getting advertisements on Instagram or Twitter for that thing. Like it's talking about buying a bike, and now I'm getting bike ads. No, this went from the phone, I guess, I don't know what else in the car was listening to us, to cable television. So all these things are getting more and more connected, but I digress. Anyway, what do you think about that? No longer needing, hey, Google. Do you use voice commands? Because I have a cousin. Is he a cousin? Uncle? He's a cousin, right? I have a cousin, one of my father's cousins. Does that make him a great cousin? I don't know. But he works for a company that installs all of the voice command stuff into your house. So some people, they spend a lot of money on that. As soon as they get home, they just speak to unlock the door. They speak for the garage door to open. They walk in and say lights, and it turns on. They say coffee. They say radio, kitchen, television, and things just turn on all over the house. They can automate anything you want. Anything that's a device that uses electricity can have another device attached that's connected to the whole robotic system. And it's kind of like, Iron Man when he talks to Jarvis in the Avengers movies. So, do you use that because it's convenient? Me, I have a bunch of devices that can be utilized that way, but I don't turn them on. I just don't activate that, and I don't use it on my phone either. I rather just type it because I don't want to connect to that. Because when you go to sign up, you have to give it permission to look at your camera and have your mic on at all times and to view all your contacts and to know everything that's on your phone. So I don't want to turn it on, So I've been late to that revolution. A lot of other ways I'm, cutting edge. I usually have the newest phone, and I invest in crypto, and I do web and app development. I Zoom, I try to use technology, right? But I'm just a little hesitant on that whole AI stuff, even though I respect it and I appreciate it. I just don't want to give it all my information just yet. So let me know what you think about that. So shout out to my friends on YouTube, anyone who's watching. And let me take a look at the phone and see what's going on Facebook right now. Cool. Hopefully, some of you have some interesting ideas and things that we could talk about at a future Tech Talk Tuesday. And you could post them in the comments underneath this video, and also post any questions that you'd like me to answer, and I'll answer them in the next video. So let's go on to another story that I saw in the news I thought was interesting. I don't know if you guys heard this rant, but Bill Maher did a rant on his show. You know, he does new rules, and his last new rule is usually the biggest one, and he goes in depth. And a week or two ago, his new rule was against crypto. And he was just really upset with the whole cryptocurrency movement and the development of all these coins, from Bitcoin to Ethereum to Dogecoin to any kind of altcoin. And he just was attacking, and ridiculing it, and saying that it's basically a bunch of nerds, and they made up this program, and a bunch of other nerds understand it, and no one else understands it. And they made up fake play money. It's like monopoly money, and it's got zero value, and it's not backed by anything like the dollar is. No, it's not, Bill. Or stocks. No, they're not, Bill. And they're not, crypto is like fake. It's fake news, basically. And he's really sick of people talking about it. Clearly, he's not investing in it. And then he actually goes on a tirade and, insults Tesla and says, Tesla, how could you invest in crypto when you're a company that's supposed to be making the environment better with your green cars, using electric cars? And he says a lot of stuff in that rant that I don't agree with. And I dedicated a whole show, a whole podcast to my response to Bill Maher on crypto. And that's going to drop this Sunday on Cybersky videos. So subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. You can actually find the thumbnail and upcoming videos on the channel, and you can click set a reminder, and it will give you a little chime, ding, 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 like 15 minutes before it goes, and it'll give you a message. This video is going live in 15 minutes. And so that way you won't miss it when it actually premieres, because then you can enter the live chat, and I'll be on there too, typing comments back and forth with you. And you can critique my critique of Bill Maher's critique of crypto in real time. And we can have a dialogue. Maybe you agree with him and you wish the whole crypto thing would go away. Maybe you think it's bad for the environment. It's not, but that's what he claimed on the show. He said it runs on coal and it's going to cause global warming and all this stuff. So tune in on Sunday. That's going to go live at, what did I say, 5 o'clock? I said it for 5 p.m. So we're going to do that 5 p.m. Sunday on Cybersky videos. My response to Bill Maher. This is my first time going at somebody, like that. I did have a rant about the internet and how it's the new democracy. That's a very short rant, 5 or 10 minutes. That's on the channel now. You can play that anytime. And I talk about different controversial things having to do with cancel culture and tweets and hashtags, like the DeLorean canceling the character, and talk about the politicians from Trump to Biden, Harris, and how, Betsy DeVos, her controversies with forgiving colleges for defrauding students, cheating them out of their money and then giving them worthless degrees. A whole bunch of stuff is on there. So you can check that out, but I do target those people a little bit, but this is like personal. Like, I'm literally speaking to Bill Maher on Sunday. I'm going to play his video of new rules, and I'm going to critique it under fair use. And he's going to say a sentence. I'm going to hit pause, and I'm going to be like, that's absolutely wrong because of this, and this. So if you'd like to hear that debate, see me virtually debating Bill Maher. It's not really a debate. I'm playing his recorded words, and then I'm responding to them. But it's basically a reaction video to his new rules segment. Tune in on Sunday. And right now, I just want to give you some interesting facts and points about crypto and how much it's grown recently. This will be my last topic, unless someone puts in the chat something they'd like me to add, and we'll talk about that as well. But if not, we'll end it off this week on this crypto talk. So, some different things that show that crypto is becoming mainstream. They call it the mainstreamification of cryptocurrency. It's reached a level that goes way higher than Bitcoin, which was the original crypto made in 2008, 2009. I'm never clear on the exact date. I always hear both of those thrown around. Maybe it was invented in 2008, but wasn't really released to the world 2009, something like that. But 14% right now of the population of the United States now invests in cryptocurrency, and it's not just Bitcoin. Okay, to give you an idea of the amount, American crypto owners are doubling this year. Like this year, we're seeing double the rate. So they feel that right now, the amount of people that are invested, which is 14% in the United States, will double by the end of 2021. So maybe around 28% at the rate it's going right now. You never can predict the future, of course. But this year, Bitcoin has nearly doubled in value. So if you bought Bitcoin with cash dollars a year ago and you held them, right now they're worth twice as much as they were. So I guess they were like 20 something thousand and now they're in the 50s. If you bought Ethereum, it's gone up 4 times, 400%. So I happen to have done that. And actually, I bought Ethereum way before last year. I bought it 4 years ago. So my Ethereum has gone up 5 times, 500%. So the amount of money that I put in is now that times 5 for Ethereum. And it's times 3 for Bitcoin when I started in 2017. But it's really going up. And that's why a lot of people are getting into it. Now, altcoins have seen huge rallies as well. Ethereum is the original altcoin. After Bitcoin, the next one that came was Ethereum, and then a whole bunch of others. And I think we're at like 1,500 or so altcoins, although there might be more now because they make new altcoins every day or two. New one comes out with a new technology. So, but altcoins such as Dogecoin. Now, Dogecoin went up to 13,000% of its original value. Now, recently, it did crash a little bit. When I say a little, it went down 50% because Dogecoin had went to like, what, $1 or something, and then it dropped down to 50 cents. Okay, so if you had $1 million in Dogecoin when it was at $1, you now only have 500,000, right? So that sounds like you lost a lot of money. But Dogecoin started out at like a penny, maybe even a fraction of a penny. So if you got Dogecoin when it was a penny and it's now worth 50 cents, you're still 50 times your original investment. Now, I wasn't one of those lucky people that got into Dogecoin early, so that didn't help me. But there are other coins like that that I got in when they were very low, and then they went up like 10 times their value, and then they dropped 5 times their value. So they went down 50% of that. So some people, it crashed and they lost a bunch of money. Yeah, because you bought it while it was high. But if you had bought it while it's low and it went way up and then dropped down a little bit, it's still more than you put in and it's going to go back up again. So that kind of tells you my outlook on crypto. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think there's no guarantees and you could lose your money. So it's just the type of thing that if you have some money that you can experiment with, a very small percentage of your funds, a couple of percent of your money for investing, and just put it in crypto, just try Bitcoin. To get a fractional amount, you could get $10, $50, $100, whatever's not that much money to you in your budget, just to see what it does. And then do the same with Ethereum and pick 4 or 5 altcoins, read up on the white papers, find out what the technology backing it is, what it could potentially do in the future. Do you think this coin will become popular? Don't just buy a coin on a joke or because it's a meme or it has a cool sounding name, like, buy it for a good reason. And then just hang on to it for like a year. That's what I did. I didn't do any trading. I just said, I'm just going to watch and see if I lose all this money that I put in, just a few $100s, or if it goes up. And once I saw that it was going up and I understood how it worked more, I started putting more money in. So if you're crypto curious, that's my suggestion. You have to use a very small amount that doesn't bother you, something you could have spent on going out to dinner or going to a party for the weekend or something. Small amount of money. I don't care. This is wasted money if it doesn't work out. And then if it does work out, now you know how to invest in crypto. Now, just so you know, they did a survey. This one company that has an exchange called Gemini. I use Gemini. They did a survey and 2/3 of the United States adults who don't own crypto are crypto curious. So 14% of the population invests in crypto already in the United States. So that's 86% doesn't. So 2/3 of that 86% who don't invest are crypto curious. So they're doing the research now and they're trying to figure out, like, is this something that's going to last and stay around? Is it real? It's going mainstream. After all, PayPal accepts it. Giant banks are now figuring out ways to create accounts where you can take money. You can take coin and put it in your bank account. You can buy lots of things. For example, PayPal, you can buy stuff at 26 million vendors through PayPal, like stores. You can use PayPal at different online stores using crypto instead of linking to your cash bank account. So, that lets you know, like, retail investors have more access to crypto. And, another trend that's going on that shows you how mainstream it's becoming Some people, because they're staying home and they got free time and they've got stimulus checks, they're like, hey, this is extra money. Now, you've heard about people getting their stimulus checks, which is for getting people over a tough time, maybe paying your bills, paying your rent, buying food, and they just go out and buy some expensive sneakers, a nice coat, or blow it on something that's frivolous, right? Well, some people have taken some of their stimulus check and they've actually bought crypto. So like, I'm going to flip this and use it as a strategy to come up out of my, impoverished situation. So that's interesting that they're doing that. Of course, huge investors like banks and hedge funds and big corporations, they've been investing millions of dollars into Bitcoin, and they see it as a hedge against inflation. So just like they would put their money into stocks or other vehicles or real estate so that it would increase in value, right? So they see it as another way to do that. For example, Tesla had invested $2.5 billion into Bitcoin maybe a month ago, right? Now, speaking of Elon Musk and Tesla, celebrities like Elon and Lil Yachty and Jake Paul have all been promoting Bitcoin and altcoins. Elon first promoted Doge 2 different times and it went up. Then he did his SNL skit and he cracked jokes about it like it wasn't really a good coin. It went down. He's been using his social media to influence it. And I talk about that in my rant, Internet is the New Democracy, my Cybersky rant on the channel. You can go check that anytime. That's up now. But there's something else interesting. There's crypto convos dominating social media from Clubhouse to Reddit. But there's also now, speaking of celebrities, Bitcoin influencer coins. What is an influencer coin? This is a new thing. So there's this company, this coin or this technology called Bitclout. It's a blockchain-based social network, but users speculate on the clout of the people on the network. So let's say you have a personality, a celebrity like Elon Musk, or even a pop star like Rihanna. So they make a crypto on the social media, they make an account for that person. And then if the more people like that person, social media account, their influencer points go up, right? Their clout goes up, their social clout. Then the coin that's attached to that name also goes up. I haven't used it. I've just read articles about this. I think it's kind of interesting. I don't know what you think about that, but basically here's what someone wrote in one of the articles I read on their website. They're truly the first tool we have as a society to trade social clout as an asset. If people understand this, then the value of someone's coin could be correlated to that person's standing in society. So your standing goes up, your coin becomes more valuable, or your coin becomes more valuable, your standing goes up. They affect each other both ways, right? This is according to, Bitclout's website. So I find that very interesting. It's kind of reminds me of an episode of Black Mirror, but taken to the next level. Black Mirror meets crypto. Tell me what you think about that. Is that a good idea? Forget about those mosquitoes. What about connecting currency of any kind to social clout? Is that something that scares you, or is that something you find fascinating or don't care? Whatever your opinion is, just let me know. And I will let you know that in January of this year, 2021, Bitcoin made up 70% of total crypto. So of all the altcoins added together, and Ethereum was probably the biggest of those, and then there's all the others. Those all added together were only 30%. 70% was Bitcoin. But now, and that total value of crypto in January was $1 trillion if you added up all the value of everyone's crypto who's participating. But now the altcoins, like Ethereum and Doge and a lot of coins that are attached to Ethereum, like Cardano and Harmony and Polkadot and Solana and things like that, and the making of NFTs, that's all attached to Ethereum. Those are being purchased more. And as of this month, Bitcoin is only 50% now of the total used and purchased coins. And the altcoins account for 50%. So the balance has swayed, and now the total has doubled. So now the market cap for all of crypto is $2 trillion instead of $1 trillion. It hasn't even been a year yet, and it's doubled. Okay. And of course, the little small coins, Digibyte, VeChain, SafeMoon, Litecoin, and all those things, they've all, gone up as well. So I'm planning on doing some tutorials since a lot of the country are crypto curious now. 60%, what is it, 2/3 to 66% of the 84% of people. So what's 2/3 of 84? I'm going to say 50 something. I don't know exactly, 56% of the country is curious and wants to know about crypto because they're considering investing and they're doing their research as you should before you put your money in anything. Make sure it's not a scam. See what the risk is, see if you want to participate or not. So I'm going to be doing some videos on crypto and I'll be answering questions such as, what is blockchain? What is cryptography? Because the crypto and cryptocurrency comes from cryptography, right? What is cryptocurrency in general? What is Bitcoin? What are altcoins? Stands for alternate coin. What gives Bitcoin and Ethereum their value? Because Bill Maher said that these things have no value, and he quoted Warren Buffett. Now, I don't know if Warren Buffett said that a long time ago, and now he's changed his mind, because I remember Elon was against crypto, and then he changed his mind and put 2.5 billion into it. But he quoted Warren Buffett saying that crypto has absolutely no value, zero. It's worthless, right? It's just something that people buy because they hope that someone else will buy it from them later at a higher price, but it has no real value. So I dispute that, and I say that's wrong, and I talk about it a little bit on Sunday when I do my video on Bill Maher. But what gives Bitcoin its value? If it does have value, as I claim, it's backed by something, unlike the dollar, which is not backed by gold anymore since 1971. So that's just a piece of paper that we trust and hope that it'll still have value in the future. Same as what Bill Maher said, that Warren Buffett said about cryptocurrency, right? And what gives Ethereum its value? Because that's totally different. Bitcoin's value comes from something completely different than Ethereum. And if you don't understand how that works, then you shouldn't really start investing unless you just have blind faith. It's like my friend who knows about money and finance, he said, I can make money here, I'm just going to buy stuff. Okay. But if you want to do your research, what gives Bitcoin its value? Or does it have no value, as these detractors are saying? What gives Ethereum its value? Totally different. And then other coins get their value from different services and technologies that they've created. And some of them have created that using Ethereum as part of their coin as well. So how does all that work? That'll help you understand whether it has value, how much, and if it's something that you really think will have value in the future. And what's an NFT? I'm going to do one on that. And what are these things called? Crap coins, or another word for it that rhymes with it? Eat coins, right? And those are coins that are not backed by any kind of proprietary technology or service or useful function, in the company. They're just made as a currency which you could trade around if you want to, like Dogecoin. Dogecoin's an example of one of those. So I'll be answering all those questions and more. So if you want to know more about crypto and you don't mind hearing my voice and coming to me, because if you agree with something here and you know me personally, you could reach out to me. You could always reach out in the live chats. I go live on Instagram. I go live on YouTube. I go live on Facebook various times during the week. I'm very accessible, not like some people who might have 1 million followers. Their channel's not new like mine, and they've stopped engaging because maybe they hire people to do their editing and all that. I'm doing it all myself. So you can reach out to me and get personal, feedback, and you can give me feedback. So if you want to hear it here, follow the channel, subscribe. Now that's not the only thing I talk about here on Cybersky videos. So for anyone who's new, I do a lot of different themed rants and podcasts, and also explainer videos and educational tutorials. Some of the things I've done before are, we talked about WandaVision. I've talked about how to use Zoom and do the settings so that you won't get Zoom bombed, how to set up your security settings for Zoom for when you do meetings, or if you're an educator and you're giving out the link to your students to have your classes, how to do the same thing with Google Meet. If Zoom isn't your preferred technology and you want to use Google, maybe you're using Google Classroom, it's integrated with Google Meet. That's one advantage. And plus Google Meet has some things like they put subtitles while you're talking. It listens to you and tries to figure out what you're saying and writes it out on a screen in real time. You don't have to upload anything. So that's good too, especially helps people to understand you when you're having a class, right? What else do we talk about? We have health talk where I discuss various health practices and things that I'm trying, things that I'm doing. I do unboxings and review products, both vitamin health supplement type products that I'm going to try, and also technology and things that I've opened. For example, I did an unboxing, but I didn't publish it yet, of these headphones that I use. I have 2 or 3 different headphones, and so I compared them and reviewed them. That's being edited and will go up soon. And then one other thing that I do is Rubik's Cube talk. I'm an avid Rubik's Cuber. I'm not a speed cuber. I don't go for the fastest, but I try to solve really challenging, difficult puzzles like this one called the X Cube. And I don't know if you can see, there's a lot of cubes on the table behind me. I will be having some contests soon, giving away one of these Cybersky cubes. This is official Rubik's, but it's Cybersky, custom made. So that's something to look forward to if you become a member of the channel. And I don't mean that you pay anything, not like a real membership. We're not at that level yet, but if you subscribe and ring the bell for notifications, hey, you're a subscriber. I consider you a member and a friend, and I appreciate you helping this channel grow. So we also occasionally publish some jazz because I happen to play music, and my dad is a musician and he taught me. And sometimes we get together and we play some music together and turn the recording on. And so I've uploaded 5 or 6 clips of us, and I call that Just Jazz with Pop. That's just some personal stuff, just something that's fun. I don't really do a lot of music on the channel, but if you like jazz, I want to hear some nice background music. It's instrumental, piano and flute. There's no singing, no lyrics to listen to. It's very mellow. You can kind of put it on in the background, whatever you're doing. And then I also interview other creators. And I've got a couple of interviews and special guests that will be coming on the show in a couple of weeks. I'm not going to give away who they are, but I'm really excited for when that happens because we haven't released any of those yet, and we're getting ready to have the guests. So that's basically it. Today was news from the cyber sky. I basically told you a little bit about what we're working on. I will be dropping soon a rant about how the USB-C ports, like my phone has, and the Mac that I'm on sometimes have some problems. I've been experiencing some problems, and I did a lot of tech support to figure out what is causing it, what's going on. And I did figure out eventually how to solve it. And so my first video is me complaining and explaining all of the issues and what's going on and how it crashes my Final Cut when I'm editing because the USB-C is not making the connection correctly to my hard drive. And sometimes it's not charging my battery when I think it is. And then the second part 2 of that will be, what I finally did about it and learned and figured out. So basically, when I learn something, I try to share it with you guys. That's why I always say, welcome to the cyber sky. Let's learn something. Because either we're learning it together, or I learned something and now I'm going to share it with you, or you're going to come and share something with me, and then me and all the listeners and followers are going to learn from that as well. So that's basically the whole purpose of the Cyber Sky channel. I do have some entertainment aspects, like when we discuss popular TV shows and science fiction and things like that. But it's more of an educational channel. It's just a very entertaining educational channel, in my humble opinion. So far, I've been getting some pretty good watch time and views. We've almost hit our 4,000 for the year, which would qualify the channel to request to be monetized. But we're not quite there yet because we only have about 260 subscribers. We need to get that number up, up, up. So subscribe, share with your friends, tell them to subscribe, and hit the like whenever you see one of these videos. Just like it right away. You don't even have to wait until it plays. You know you're going to support, you like the content of the channel anyway. When you see a new video, just hit like right away so that the algorithm that YouTube uses says, wow, people are liking this immediately. This must be great content. And they're going to share it with more people along the YouTube network. All right, so that's about all for today. Tune in Thursday for Cyber Sky Live Health Talk. Well, I'll tell you some interesting new health discoveries. And if anyone wants to pop in and give me any questions or any topics that you'd like us to discuss, we can do that as well. And then Sunday will be the launch at 5 o'clock of the MacBook USB-C rant that I'm going to put out, as well as soon after that, my response to Bill Maher. So that's what you have to look forward to. Please browse the channel and check out everything else. But I really appreciate you watching this video. If you made it all the way to the end, you're really a champ. You're a superstar. I love you. Thanks for the support. Remember, when people are doubters and they're haters, stay positive. Remember, the best revenge is success. That's it. Stay healthy, my friends. And as always, stay blessed. And I'll see you next week. This has been Cybersky Live Tech Talk with your host, Graham Cybersky.